Yeah, I think people are asleep on what Meek Mill has done. Like, I think Meek has turned a very terrible situation and almost turned it into a positive, right? I think Meek Mill, he was in a hole. Like, his back was against the wall. Remember 2 summers ago, Meek was the blunt of every joke. I used to make videos, right? And I would lowercase M-E-E-K M-I, and then I would capitalize the L just to hand him more L's. Alright? Meek was the blunt of every L joke. We were handing Meek Mill L's first after that Drake situation. He just became the brunt of all jokes. Like, when Back to Back dropped, like, he became the poster boy for shout out all the boss chicks, wife and niggas. Like, it was what it was. And I really think people sleep on what Meek is as a musician. I think he's turned a bad situation and made it a positive. You listen to a record like Left Hollywood, right? And Meek just dropped that on his little Meekend Music EP that dropped on his birthday. You listen to a track like Left Hollywood, and it kind of is like he's taken Nicki Minaj and Drake, 2 people that he's had the most chemistry in music with, for good or for bad, right? In a relationship with Nicki and a beef battle with Drake, technically, and that Drake beef battle has kind of formed Meek's career. You've taken 2 people who've, from a social media standpoint, benefited him the most, right? Meek, the Drake beef got him a lot of fame, for good or for bad. Everybody picked it up, and he was with Nicki, and you know that what comes with that, right? Nicki's that big of a star. So you look at where Meek Mill is at socially, he was heading in that pop world. He was right there on the cusp. Like, a lot of people argue that Meek turned over pop with the All Eyes on You record. And he was right there. And you hear a record like Left Hollywood, it's not that he just left Hollywood. It's what he left alone when he left Hollywood that I think means Meek Mill is on the right verge of something, right? Meek Mill, when he's saying he left Hollywood, you gotta really listen to the record. He's not just saying I left Hollywood, I left my crib there. He's saying I left Nicki Minaj, I left everything that came with the fame that wasn't for me. That kind of chick wasn't for me. I left beefing with rappers like Drake. I left even caring about who's the top MC. I left all that alone. I left it in Hollywood. I ain't want it no more. So the fact that Meek has turned the biggest negative, and everybody was counting him out, self-included, man, was counting Meek Mill out. The fact that he turned one of the biggest L's in hip-hop history into some sort of, I ain't gonna call it just a positive, and I ain't gonna call it a dub, but Meek has kind of respected where he's at 30 years old, kind of entered, and it seems like he's starting to feel a little more comfortable in his own skin. And Meek is turning what could have been one of the worst letdowns in a career that had so much promise, and he's slowly starting to pick up the pieces. He's got this tour coming up with Gotti and the Trap tour. I like what Meek's doing. It's like he's slowly starting to pick up the pieces and get comfortable to who he was before he really hit the fame 2015. And I like the lane that he in. Subscribe to my channel for more content like this. I'm out. If you're looking to book me for an interview, video, or by phone, if you're looking to have your music or your skill featured on my daily podcast, if you're looking to book me for a speaking engagement to help motivate some kids, if you're looking to have me rock some of your clothing to help promote your brand, make sure you hit me up at booking@mrtelefaro.com. Again, that's booking@mrtelefaro.com.